for a round of international fixtures into different climates, different things like that. Are you worried?
Oh, because you work for the Daily Mail, I don't want to use the word worried. You used it, but I don't want to see anything what I say now in a headline tomorrow, because I know that everybody tries their best to keep the boys safe, to keep ourselves safe. That's how it is. But of course, if your 16-year-old daughter goes the first time out, even when it's a good guy, you are slightly concerned. So I would say, and that's how it is with the players. I would like to keep them here, not for training, of course, but from the other point of view as well, just because we know what we do, and it's not like this that you have that we know exactly what each country is doing. But I think it's mostly now Europe, and we have obviously it's easier to get a connection with these FAs. It's England, obviously, it's Holland, Wales, Scotland. I think that's it. If I forgot somebody. So the African players don't have to go, the Brazilian players don't have to go, which helps us from a training perspective. But in October, the situation will still not be sorted, but probably it will then look, the more countries will play their international games. So it's not, I don't see it as our problem, because it's not our problem. It's a problem of all of us, of the society. And I'm sure all the FAs will try to make 100% sure that the boys are completely in a safe place. And we know from our own perspective, especially when you go to a national team, that's more, you can compare that more with the bubble we created through the end of the last season, where everything was closed, and so the boys will not have contact with anybody around it. So I don't expect anything to happen, but to be 100% sure, you have to make tests like crazy when they arrive. Probably, I'm not sure if it's required from anybody or if we have to, but we will do for sure tests immediately. Try to figure out that they're all fine, but they will do testings there. So it's like it always is. Well, big parts of my family live in Germany. I can say if they would live with me, they would be safe. They're now in Germany. They whatever they do there, I don't see it. So that's the situation like it is with the boys. We don't know exactly what, but we trust a lot the FAs that they will be really responsible for that.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Got a hand up at the moment. That's the only other hand I've got up for the breakout, Chris. Oh, are you on? You need to unmute yourself, Chris. There we go.
You hear me now?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Hi again. I just, I don't know, we may have spoken a little bit about this at the end of last season, but I think it's just worth reiterating. I mean, no club who got 90 points ever improved the next season and got more, but you did last year. So just how you go about the challenge of improving again and doing something which would be pretty unprecedented, you know, with that kind of feeling that around 90 points mark is what gets you the title, and how you go about communicating and what you see in the players that is sure that they're motivated to do that again, especially with City looking as though they're going to come on strong. Their chairman said they're going to do what it takes. That was his exact quote to get that title back off you.
Yeah, but that's why we said we will not try to defend it. We will try to attack the next one. That's the truth. So that then you don't change at all your approach, because that's what we always did, and there's no reason for changing it. You don't keep a title forever. It's always open for everybody. So that means we don't have really to think about it. It's the points tally is nothing. We didn't think after 97 we will go above that, and did it anyway. We didn't think one day, maybe after lockdown when we won the league, when we finally won the league, then maybe people thought about it, and then we realized it's now really tricky to get all these points, and there were a lot of points out there to get, but we didn't get them all, and it ended up anyway with 99, which is great. So, but we really never thought about it, so we don't need that as a motivation. And we know it will be a difficult season, and not because we were last year champion or something like that. No, just because football improvement, as long as you play, never stops. So everybody can improve, obviously, and Chelsea looks pretty ambitious, obviously, in the transfer market. United will do some stuff, and they were already good last year. City, everybody thinks they will do. I don't know. So that's how it is. But then still, you have to find a way of play again, and that's the everybody has the same chance. It's not about how many players anybody will sign. In the end, they have to play with 11. Ersen can make 3 changes and stuff like this, but that's it pretty much. And then in the moments when you face all these different teams, you have to be ready to fight and you have to be ready to win. So, and that's what we did in the last 2.5, 3 years, pretty much. And yeah, motivation will not be our problem. Will not be our problem. I don't see it's. I'm not sure. Will we lose football games? Oh, I don't like it, but probably yes. It will happen. It's all about how you deal with the different situations. Will we win a football game? Hopefully, yes. So how to deal with that? It's a challenge as well. So all these kind of things, nothing really changed. It's all about how you feel in the moment when you lose, how you feel in the moment when you win. What does it make with it? And I know that this team will not stop trying. And that's all I need. That's all I need. I will not stop trying. But I don't expect everything to happen for me, and never expected that, don't expect it now. So, but I expect that I give everything, my absolute everything, and I expect that the boys do that as well. So, and that brings us in a position, I think, where we can be really competitive, and being competitive is the first step to go for titles, because we have just to be around in the moments when decisions are made, and that's what we learned a little bit. But if we can do it still, we have to prove that on the pitch, nowhere else.
Thank you. Last few questions then. We're going to go Andy Hunter, Paul Joyce and David Anderson in that order. Andy, yours please, if that's okay.
Yes. Hi, Jurgen. You've been linked obviously with Thiago for several months now. I'm not expecting you to say whether you're getting him or not, but in the 5 weeks since we last spoke to you, is the situation financially clearer for you at the club? Because it was obviously, given the situation, it was all up in the air what clubs had to spend at the end of last season, but now do you have a clear idea whether you would be in a position to do a significant incoming like that?
I'm clear enough about it. I would say I'm as clear as possible. I think so. It's not that we never had that relationship. We'll never have that. I go to my guard and tell him, so that's the money I need, and without that we cannot survive or whatever. It's all about it's about the club, and so I'm clear enough about our situation, but that's it pretty much. So there are other clubs that have different policies, obviously, and that's what you have to expect. That was last year the same, and the year before pretty much the same. There we have all our individual approaches how to deal with different situations, and it didn't harm us really, our way. So it's just our way. I cannot change that. I don't want to. I knew about that when I arrived here, that this is the way it goes. And so since I'm in, nothing changed. Only the times changed from time to time. So, and especially now. And as a sensible person, I know that this is not the best time in our lives, obviously, and why should you plan in long term? So these kind of things. But we are in a good place. And we have a good team, and we talk about motivation. We will be motivated. So that's of course my job to do as well. And the boys' job to do, and the supporters in the moment. Not only the moment they can come in the stadium, but as well when they are not in the stadium, because with all we can create a feeling together. So it's all about, we cannot just bring in 5 new players because people want to be busy with that. There was every year pretty much the same. I don't think I ever bought enough players in a transfer window for everybody. So it was always like, here and there we need another one. And so far it worked out. That doesn't mean it will work out forever. We made mistakes, and we will make probably mistakes, but it's really all about what kind of mood we can create again for this season. And that's all about really creating a unit which is absolutely difficult to beat, be a proper team who's ready to suffer for each other. That's the most important thing, and not who you can buy in a very strange moment of all our lives.
Okay. Last 2 questions. Paul Joyce, followed by David Anderson. Paul, I think you're on mute if you want to take yourself off. There we go.
Jurgen, do you feel you have a target? Do you feel the team has a target on its back now as being champions, where everybody else will try and
So I think the line's not great. Do you have a target on your back in terms of are you the team that people are coming for? Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, okay. I actually, since I'm here, I was in the beginning, I was really surprised how much a game against Liverpool means to all the other teams, even when we were not considered as Liverpool of the past, stuff like this, 7th, 8th in the league. But when you arrived in the stadium, it was like, wow, they really have a proper goal for it. And that never changed. So I'm not sure if there can be a bigger target on our back than we already had. Last season, everybody wanted to beat us. Everybody, obviously, for a good reason. Not so many could do it. And so I don't think that will change. But it's not. Other teams wanted to beat us. That's good. That's how the competition is. It's what we feel. So if we think now about what other teams want to do with us, then we have already the first problem, because we usually don't think about that. We don't think about the tactics, what they do, stuff like that, not why they are motivated to win against us. We think about why we want to win the game. So if you would change that now, that we think constantly because we are champions, they want to beat us even more so than we have already. We lose a few percent of our approach, mood, attitude, and all that stuff. And I'm not ready for that. So I want us to be in a mood actually to want to win each game. And it's not so important why other teams want to win against us. It's much more important why we want it. And that's what we will try again. So there's no time limit on that. It's surprising that people always think, yeah, you can do that for a specific amount of time, but then you can't do it anymore. Actually, I don't feel it. I'm 53, worked since 20 odd years in the job. I never lost that, to be honest. I couldn't do it always, but the desire was always there. So that will not change here in this club. But maybe other teams have now more reasons, but I don't see that's only a problem if we change our approach as well.
Final question, David. It has to be the final one. Thank you.
Hi, Jurgen. You referenced the spending Chelsea have already made and the fact you expect United will do business. Do you think that overall it will be harder to win the title this season?
Yeah, okay, it's probably every year harder. Was it easy last year? For sure not. It looked in moments, but only because we were a result machine. That was the only reason for it. It was always hard. All the games, we had to fight so hard in all the games. So that will happen this time. How is that? If you make a lot of changes in a squad, that's good, and it's good, but it's more good in the long term than in the short term, because you need to get used to each other and all this kind of stuff. So there's this little advantage, not a big advantage, but a little advantage that we are used to each other. So we know what we are doing in specific moments, but we have to do it, and we have to mix it up with a sensational attitude and with a sensational desire in the game. So we have to be really aggressive in our runs, in our movements, in all that stuff, that we really, constantly like this 100% mood, where you always go with all you have. And and how is that? It was last year difficult, very difficult for the year before, very difficult for City, obviously. And it will be difficult for everybody this year, but it's not decided yet. So let's just give it a try.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. Stay safe. See you soon.
Yeah.